Hello friends, welcome back to another new player's guide. Today I wanted to talk about survivor items, specifically items that you can use to blind the killer. So let me start off with, of course, there are always going to be flashlights in the game. You have the purple one, green, and yellow. And then there are also occasionally events, such as right now during the anniversary, you can get an anniversary flashlight, which is equivalent to, I believe, the yellow. Yes, equivalent to the yellow flashlight. And then during Halloween, there's also the, a really cute one. It shows when you, like, put it against a wall, there's like a little ghost character on the wall. It's adorable. There are also single-use items that you can use to blind any sort of firecrackers. So the 3rd-year anniversary got this one, which is only available in customs. I don't think we had a winter event last year, but they've had winter events in the past where you get one, and then every Lunar New Year, they always have the Chinese firecracker. There's also a new perk out there called Flashbang, which if you work on a generator, you can activate Flashbang, and then you just go into a locker empty-handed, and you can craft a flashbang. I'm pretty sure it's infinite how many times you can use it, but it works exactly like the firecrackers. So firecrackers have a one charge. So if you bring one into the match, you only get to use it once. But you can use it to drop in the middle of chase. You can drop it in the middle of nowhere as a distraction. As a killer's picking someone up, you can drop it near them to hopefully blind the killer and get a save that way. The timing on them can be a little bit difficult, but for people who are brand new and really struggle with flashlights, they are a lot easier to get away with if you are doing any sort of like a tome challenge, for example, where you need to blind the killer a lot. But yeah, so they are very fun, but they are only one-time use, and if it goes to waste, it goes to waste. On the other hand, flashlights, you do get a little bit more use out of them. For the most part, they all have 8 seconds. So the yellow ones, anniversary, like special event ones, have 8 seconds. The green one also has 8 seconds. It just decreases the battery consumption, so it burns a little bit slower and also increases the accuracy slightly. And the accuracy is just when you go to aim a flashlight, there's a little bit of a sway to it, and that's all it does, is decreases that. The purple one, however, also reduces the reduces accuracy, so it's a little harder to aim, but you get more use out of it at 12 seconds. And it also has a longer blindness duration and just a brighter beam, which means you can blind a little bit faster. So let me go ahead and put this on, and we'll talk about the add-ons that you get with flashlights. So Halloween brings a broken bulb. This just causes the flashlight to flicker a little bit. It does increase the visual brightness and blindness duration, and I love the last bullet moderately increases the spookiness. But I do love that one. It's really cute. So this offering, for the most part, if you have one of the yellow or green flashlight, or actually if you have like the green flashlight, for example, if you toss this on, it's gonna make it work similarly to the yellow flashlight minus the length of time that you can use it. Let me go back, or similar to the purple I meant, not the yellow. So let me go back to purple, and let's talk about the odd bulb. I'll run down here. Okay. So the odd bulb increases the visual brightness, which means that it blinds faster, and it tremendously increases the blindness duration. So by tremendously, it really only adds like a second, I think, if that. I don't even think it adds a full second to the blindness. But because it is so quick, you do end up getting a blind a lot faster, but it does increase the battery consumption. So while you normally have 12 seconds of use on this, it'll decrease it a little bit more the more you use it. So you're going to get actually less than 12. So you are going to want to pair this with either more batteries or the low amp filament to kind of compensate for that and decrease the battery consumption a little bit more. Then you have lenses. So there is a certain distance at which point flashlights just don't work, right? That makes sense. So you do have to be a pretty good distance away to be able to get the flashlights. Let's see. Yes, okay. So slightly increases the flashlight's beam, means that it can reach a little bit further. Widening the beam means that it gives you a little bit more of area to work with to actually like hit the killer's eyes, essentially, of where you're aiming. And the beam's visual brightness and duration, again, it just makes them blind just slightly, just a marginal of a second longer. There are also the focus lens does the same things, except where all of this does it moderately. This just does it slightly. Where it slightly narrows the radius of the beam just means that you have to be a little bit more accurate, but it's gonna blast the killer straight in the eye. So it's actually a pretty fun add-on. I do enjoy that one. This one, if you have like the yellow flashlight, for example, that doesn't already increase blindness duration or anything like that, this is an add-on you can put on to make it a little bit more like the purple. And this brown add-on increases the range a little bit so you have further reach. So essentially, wide lens is like a very downgraded high-end sapphire lens. So if you don't have this, you can do this to get a little bit more reach out of it. The intense halogen, again, it's just more to increase visual brightness and duration. So if you stacked these, if I had this on here, you would blind the killer instantly. Like as soon as you hit their eyes, they're blind. If you want to annoy a killer, you can do this, but you aren't going to have a lot of use out of it because again, this really eats away at the battery. So you're not going to have a whole lot unless you're running Streetwise and or Built to Last along with it. But yeah, it just makes it so that they blind quicker and longer. And then this one, yes, does the same thing, blinds them quicker and longer, but it also reduces the radius of the flashlight beam. So much like this lens, you do have to hit it pretty much exactly right on the face, but you're gonna nail them. It'll be like a laser to the eye. Batteries. This one adds 6 seconds, 4 seconds, and 2 seconds. So if I were to stack on the best double batteries I can, this adds an extra 10 seconds. This is 22 seconds of flashlight, just normal flashlight. If you are learning how to use a flashlight, I highly recommend just going in with any of the flashlights plus batteries. All of the other add-ons that mess with the duration of the blindness, how quickly they get blind, the distance and everything, like those are fun, but if you're learning flashlight, just put on batteries so you get more use out of it, and you can go from there. I'm gonna skip to these. Don't bother with them. To be entirely frank. So these will increase the flashlight's accuracy, and all that means is the natural sway that happens with the flashlight, it makes it less noticeable. If you are learning, I get like it's okay to run it a few times, but it's gonna be once you take it off to replace with batteries, for example, or even the odd bulb, it's just going to make it difficult again. I've made that mistake. I started running with these and I was getting flashlight saves constantly, and I've had to actually relearn how to use a flashlight without them. So I don't recommend really doing these unless you are just really struggling on a tome challenge or something. All right, and then lastly, the low amp filament moderately decreases the battery consumption. So, like I said, it pairs pretty well with the odd bulb if you don't already have batteries to just extend it. If you chuck on some batteries, and I believe you should actually have these a different way. So I think you should have battery first and then filament. Let me actually go look that up 1 second. Okay, yes, I was right. So essentially how this works is you want to put the battery as your first add-on because the game actually does recognize the order of add-ons for some god-awful reason. But essentially if you... why not make this the best I can? Green battery. Okay, so I have 12 seconds plus 6 seconds. I have 18 seconds of flashlight use, and I add on the low amp filament. It's going to add like 0.3, not add 0.3. It's going to add about like slightly over 4 seconds to it. That's how it's going to decrease. If I had it backwards, if I had the filament first, it's going to reduce the 12 seconds, but not my extra 6. So it's only going to add like, what is that, like 3 seconds, I think? A little less than 3 seconds of battery life. So ordering it with the battery first, filament second, gives you just a little bit more time on the battery, is how you should order them. But flashlights are the only ones with weird timing like this, just saying. Everything else that we talk about is going to be so much more simpler than the flashlights. But I believe I covered everything here. If you guys have any other questions, please let me know in the comments. Next up on the list of what I will be talking about is medkits, and we're going to be talking about all of the medkit offerings that are out there or add-ons, sorry, all the medkit add-ons that are out there. Specifically, I might put in some gameplay on how to use these 2 add-ons. I'll see you later in the fog. Bye!